Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to Planet Coaster and welcome to Grindavik, my area for Community Canyon. Now I haven't really done any videos on this, any time-lapse videos, because I didn't have a lot of time to actually make this area. I had to build a lot less than I originally wanted. The original plan was to have a family wooden coaster in there that someone suggested, but it just wasn't any time really. So this video is mainly just going to be showcasing the area, giving you a tour of the entire area, and some eagle-eye viewers might already notice that a lot of the buildings in this area are from Europa Park's Iceland area, so I'll be talking a bit more about that in a minute. So yes, let's start the tour with the harbour area of Grindavik. So then here in the harbour area of Grindavik, the main attraction is of course the drop tower inside the lighthouse. Someone suggested this to make into the area and it was actually one of the first things I decided on doing. Now the lighthouse is very oversized because of the drop tower inside, and I wasn't really able to do a lot of theming and a lot of detail within the lighthouse just because it's so small and compact, and if I wanted to do any more details or theming, much like the drop tower inside the castle at Phantasialand, it would just be way too big and it would look even more horrible than it actually does. So whilst it's not around the same size as a normal lighthouse, you know, we're gonna have to settle for this size. Of course it doesn't have these red and white stripes like a normal lighthouse, because this is an Icelandic lighthouse. I went on Google Images, I searched up Icelandic lighthouse, and basically all of them were fully white with a red top, so that's what I've done here with this lighthouse. Now in terms of storyline, there's not really much of a story, but in terms of the name, it is called Lighhouse Curse. And just have a quick POV of this lighthouse, you don't really see much at all because it's all cobblestone walls, so I'm going to shut up for a bit and let you enjoy this POV. You get 2 drops on this one, it's a 2-drop special, so yeah, let's go. Right then, so the drop tower is quite a short ride, I understand that, but you come out the lighthouse and you come into the harbour area and you have lighthouse gifts right in front of you. You have a few other shops as well, and you've also got the actual harbour with all the boats on them. All those boats are from the Steam Workshop. I just did not have enough time to actually make boats myself, so I did grab a few from the workshop, and all the credits for those boats will be in the description of this video. But just to talk a bit about the buildings, all these buildings are from the Iceland area of Europa Park. Those who are very familiar with Europa Park will have probably already figured that out. And the reason why is because I feel like I perform best in Planet Coaster when I'm recreating something. I am absolutely horrible at original creations in Planet Coaster. It's the reason why I've abandoned so many of my custom parks in Planet Coaster in the past, like Lake Willis and Colcan Lake. It's just because I'm not good at original builds in Planet Coaster, so I thought maybe let's take a look at Europa Park, let's take a look at Iceland in Europa Park, and let's see what we can get from it. Now not all the buildings in the area are exact copies from Europa Park's area, but most of them are basically. And I just feel like this is how everyone should build in Planet Coaster because it just makes it so much easier. You actually have something to guide yourself basically, instead of just trying to think about something in your mind. If you can build original creations really well, then you know, good for you, but for those starting out with Planet Coaster, or for those of you who aren't good at building Planet Coaster, take a look at some like real life theme park buildings. I wouldn't necessarily say like actual buildings, I say theme park buildings because they're more downscaled, they're more of a facade than an actual building, but yeah, all these buildings are from Europa Park. So coming up the hill from the harbour, just to talk a bit about the terrain on the hill, this is one thing I really wanted to implement into this area. I hate having flat land in a theme park. Flat land is utterly horrible because it just doesn't look nice, it looks very bland, it doesn't flow well. I feel like this natural hill coming up from the harbour, it really does flow well, and it makes it as if this is an actual coastline. You're at the coast and this is the Atlantic Ocean you're standing at. So a lot of these buildings up at the top of the hill are just normal refreshment buildings. You got a pip shop water in there. I believe I also put a Just a Memento in there and some toilets, and also put some staff buildings in there for the staff who were getting tired. The main building in this little section of buildings is a big restaurant with a big spire on there. I'm pretty sure Silverrat's going to judge that pretty hard because he is Spire Man. That building is also from Europa Park, of course. It's not an exact copy, but it is very similar. Now that being said, there's not really much else to talk about the buildings, so let's move on to the main attraction of the area, and that is of course the Gerstlauer Infinity coaster called Sharkbait. So then the Gerstlauer Infinity coaster is the main attraction of Grindavik, and it takes the story of your working for this fishing company called Wardley and Son. I'll let you decipher that Easter egg on your own. But yeah, it has a lot of elements on it. A lot of elements have been taken from other Gerstlauer Infinity coasters out there in the world, and the station building of course resembles like an actual Icelandic house in the interior of an Icelandic building, and a lot of the station interior has been pulled from Bluefire's station interior from Europa Park. Of course, all the pillars and the arches that go up to the ceilings and the boats that hang from the ceilings, that's all been taken from Bluefire's station. And of course we come out the station and into a little dark ride section. I wanted to have this dark ride section in here. It's nothing major, it's just a few animatronics on the boats, and then you go through to the launch area where you get jump scared a bit by some sharks from the ceiling that have the same effect as Disco Yeti does for Expedition Everest, where they are stationary but they have flashing lights, so it looks like they are moving around but they're actually not. So then you go onto the launch straight and you're held stationary for a while, and then you launch right up into the top hat, into the tallest part of the ride. You then come down from the top hat, go into a bank turn and into the dive loop. This dive loop has directly been taken not from an Infinity coaster, but from a B&M Flawless coaster, Medusa, at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. After this dive loop you go through a generic 0G roll and into a turnaround, into a little airtime hill, and then a corkscrew into the mid-course brakes. These mid-course brakes send you into a little show scene where you get a close encounter with an animatronic shark, a few splash effects, and then you go up into the vertical lift hill, which has been taken directly from the Smiler. It's basically a mirrored version of Smiler's vertical lift. At the top of the lift you complete a bank turn into a downward corkscrew, very similar to the Smiler, and then you go into a helix, into a barrel roll, and then into kind of like a Rita-esque twisted airtime hill. It then plunges you down underneath the launch straight into this type of underground area, much like Nemesis at Alton Towers, where it goes all through the pit. You go underneath the queue line, make your final turnaround, and into the brake section. And that's the ride really, so let's enjoy a nice POV of Sharkbait. Right then, so I hope you enjoyed today's video. That was Grindavik, my area of Community Canyon, and that means that my time of Community Canyon has come to an end, and of course I'm now handing it over to Digital Dan, so you can go over to his channel to check out the progress made on Community Canyon from now on. So that being said, we are now going to move back onto the daily Alton Towers Planet Coaster videos. My curious mind has completed Spinball Wizard, so we're going to be moving on to Tower Street when the videos return tomorrow. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, then please do consider subscribing because it helps out the channel a lot more than you think. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you tomorrow in the return of Alton Towers.